So if you truly understand the concept we're going to talk about in this video, you will improve your day trading. The lesson in this video played a big part in my own trading, going from struggling to make profits on a consistent basis to be a profitable trader. So guys, make sure to really pay attention during this whole video. If you want to, you can grab a pen, paper and drink. And without further ado, let's get started right away here. Alright, so what we're going to talk about in this video is a pretty simple concept, but it's super important to understand. And that concept is Dao Theory. And to be more specific, we're going to talk about the Dao Theory of trend patterns. And according to Dao Theory, in order for us to have a valid trend in a market, this can be, day trading on short time frames such as the 5 minutes, 1 minute or 15 minutes, but the concepts in this video also applies for swing trading, so for example daily time frames. But in order for us to have a valid trend, in this example we're looking at an uptrend. In order for us to have a valid uptrend, we need to first of all print consecutive higher highs. So we need to print consecutive higher highs, and this one is pretty intuitive to understand. But what we also need to have is that we need to have consecutive higher lows, and this higher low part is sometimes overlooked. Buyers do not have a full control over the market if we are not also holding higher lows in case of an uptrend. Because if you, for example, have a trend that we are printing higher highs but we're printing lows at the same level, then this is not an uptrend. This is not an uptrend according to Dao Theory. So that is the first super important thing to understand here. And the reason it's so important to understand this is because many of the trading strategies out there requires us to first of all identify a trend. So in order for us to have successful trading strategies, many times we need to first of all identify a clear and valid trend. And this simple concept of Dao Theory help us to identify these trends. And the same thing of course applies for the downtrend as well. So in order for us to have a valid downtrend according to the Dao Theory criteria, we need to print consecutive lower lows. So we have one low, lower low, lower low. But also in order for the sellers to be fully in control, we need to also print consecutive lower highs. So in this case you can see we're printing both lower lows and lower highs. So this right here is a downtrend according to Dao Theory. So under this system we basically have three types of trends or three types of trend states. The market can either be in an uptrend, it can be in a downtrend, or the market can be neutral. And this neutral part is super important because many times this is a trading environment we definitely do want to avoid. Most trading strategies works in either uptrends or downtrends, but they doesn't work at all in no trend environments. So let's take a look at an environment where we have no real trend. So for example right here we're looking at a gold chart here. So we're looking at gold and daily time frame. And as you can see on this chart, what would you say this is? What type of trend is this? Well, this in my opinion is a perfect example of a no trend environment. So the price in this environment is very random. So it's very hard to actually trade this environment. Of course, right now we are actually on the daily time frame. So if you zoom in on the shorter time frames, for example, let's say you zoom in on this part right here. On a shorter time frame, this might be a perfect downtrend, so you can probably trade that on the shorter time frame. But on the daily time frame right here, this is a very hard environment to actually trade in. One of the most important aspects of studying trends is to study how trends end. Because when trends end, they often offer us great trading opportunities. So right now we're looking at the uptrend we identified here in the beginning. We printed consecutive higher lows and we printed consecutive higher highs. But let's actually think about how does a trend end here? Well, we basically have two scenarios. Let's say we have an uptrend that looks like this. One scenario of a trend ending is that the buyers fails to print another higher high. So you can see we print one high and then a lower high, and then when we go down here and print yet another lower low, so you can see we have two lower highs, we have two lower lows, this right here, then the trend have ended. But we actually have another type of trend ending. So let's say we have something that looks like this. We have an uptrend, but a trend can also end by a very strong counter move. So if we have something that looks like this, you can see a very strong force to the downside came in here, and we printed a lower low here right away. And then the buyers failed to push and print a higher high. So we have also a lower high right here. In this case right here, the trend have not yet changed from an uptrend to a downtrend. I would say that this market environment right here is still uncertain. But in order for us to actually have a new downtrend starting here, we need to break this previous low and print yet another lower low right here. And as you can see in this example, we had just recently on Nasdaq, we had this type 2 of trend change. We had an uptrend, but then we had a force to the downside that right away, you can see it right away broke the previous low right here. But in order for us to actually have a new downtrend starting, we need to print a lower high, and then we need to print yet another lower low. So if the price goes something like this, then in my opinion, we have a new downtrend starting here for Nasdaq. But alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you feel like you got any kind of help or value, then please consider dropping a like. And if you guys are interested in more, then don't hesitate to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I hope I will see you guys in the next video. But for now guys, take care. Ciao ciao.